From the east to the west, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DDICD Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. And it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. And I know I'm coming in late today, man, but it's been a busy day. Me and Jeff did the NFL Bet Exchange earlier, and I had a lot of information I had to put down for this show. So I wanted to make sure that I got the show off no matter what today. So we're here. Let's go ahead. It's going to be a little quick today. So let's go ahead and jump into it. CFP Power 5 preview is coming up. You guys already know I got you set up when it comes to over, under, win totals, all that good stuff. Quick and little analysts and everything, why I'm going in that direction and all that good stuff. Because in college football, you really don't know what to expect with these teams because it's always about the heart, the adrenaline of teams as well, too. And how are they coming into the game that week as well too? Is this a great week for everybody? Is it a bad week for everybody? It all depends. But let's go ahead and get into our first group, and that's going to be the ACC preview. And in the ACC preview, this is how I have it set up. In the Atlantic Division, I see the Boston College Golden Eagles going under 5.5 this year, plus 120. There's just not, it's the same old Boston College that I see every single year. It's either going to be effort. It's going to be effort, but will the talent be there to help them win games? That's the biggest question. I think that they land right at 5-7 this year. So I'm taking the under 5.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. But odds makers are saying that they're a better team than that. They're looking at them as more of a 6 to 7 win team this season. So we'll see how it goes, and we move forward from there. We have the Clemson under 10 this year. I'm not saying that they don't win over 10 games this year, but I just feel like they land right at 10. They're not going to go anywhere over 10 this year. And you guys have to remember, this is for the regular season as well, too. So pretty much I do feel like they stay right at the number 10. So from there, plus 105, we can go from there. And I look over and I see FSU at over 9.5. I got FSU winning at least 11 games this year. Okay, I think that they do have some tough games early in the season, but I feel like they're going to sheet the ACC this year. I feel like they're going to absolutely sweep the whole conference this year. And so I'm probably jumping ahead of the curve right now on who I'm going to pick as the champion. But I feel like this is the rebirth of Florida State. I've talked about this earlier on shows this summer as well, too. And I'm still confident about what I see with the Seminoles. All right, North Carolina State, I feel like are the dark horse here in the conference this year. They have a really balanced team, and they have a lot of good things going on down there in Raleigh. And nobody's talking about it. But I feel like this year can be a year where they can step up and surprise a lot of teams. So I do like them with the over 6.5 this year. And then, Syracuse is always going to be a good covering team. They're going to be a team that's going to be, very attractive early in the season, but later on in the season, as the season progresses and goes along, they'll probably be figured out exactly who they are. So I got them still going under 6.5 games, and the odds makers are probably pretty much agreeing that this is not going to be a team that they see being one of the top teams in the ACC next season, this season coming up. I'm sorry. And then you have Wake Forest. Wake Forest is replacing Sam Hartman at quarterback. I know that's going to be a little difficult, but they do have a good rapport as a team in place. And their coach does have a good understanding of his roster as well, too. So this will be a team that will do the same exact thing that they did last year. They'll ruffle some feathers. They'll have some good weeks. They'll have some bad weeks. But I think that they're a 7 or 5 team or better. Let's keep it real. That's how I feel. And we are getting plus money for that as well, too. All right. Now we got the Coastal Division. We got Duke, the over 6.5 here. Duke played really good football last year, and they have a really good offense in place as well, too. And, it's the smart guys. So why not? I feel like they can be a sneaky 7-5, 8-4 this year, and absolutely compete in the Coastal Division, which is always a wide open conference as is. So, a wide open division as is. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And don't get mad at me because I know that I see UNC's not in the group, but we're gonna go ahead. We'll fix that in a second. But they should be in the group, but for some odd reason, I forgot to put them there. But we'll have them back up there in a second. So pretty much we have a very, very, very good group that's sitting here. We have the Georgia Tech. Yeah, I don't see much with Georgia Tech this year. Let's just keep it real. I don't see much with them. I see them more as a team that's on the up and up for years to come along. But other than that, I don't think that this team is really ready yet. There's a lot more teams who are much better than the than Georgia Tech in this group. So that's where I'm leaning with them because the ACC is tough, and I just think that they're going to be more patsies than anything, and that's why I'm putting them in that category right now. Is because I just really feel like this team is not going to be that good. It's crazy because they do kind of run a system where you would feel that eventually this team could really go out there and kill stuff, but it's just not there yet. So, pretty much I just feel like what happens here is going to be a team that really just is going to be a whooping boy for the rest of the conference. I'm just going to keep it real. And that's how I'm feeling with that. So, all in all, that should be a very good situation. Now, Miami is probably a team that I can say that is probably back on their up and up this year as well, too. I feel like Miami could run the table a little bit. They could win the Coastal this year as well. Like, you feel like every year Miami can win the Coastal, but I like the plus 110. I think they're an 8 or 9 win team this year because they have to turn it around at some point. And I feel like this could be the year where, you get a better Canes team than we've had over the last few years. Now, with North Carolina, they're not here listed, but I still have North Carolina going under 8.5. There's a lot of pressure on North Carolina this season. They have a national championship type quarterback, but they don't have a national championship type roster to back him up. But they'll have some big games, they'll have some big wins. But I feel like they land right at 8 wins for the season. And so the under 8.5 feels like a very, very strong play, in my opinion. But once again, this is a team that can run the table and win the Coastal as well, too. Now we have Pitt. Pitt is a team that will probably struggle because they have a new group coming in. It's a very young roster over there as well, too. Brand new coach, all that good stuff. So I think that the under 7 is a strong play. You know what I mean? I think it's a very, very strong play, and we'll go from there. I think that it should be some good a good season for him, but it's a learning season for him. And then we got Virginia. Virginia is kind of low on the totem pole this year. They got after their tragedies that occurred last year, it kind of turned some people off from the university and attending the university. They lost out on some recruits because of it, but all in all, it's going to take a little bit to rebuild this situation here, but I feel like they're going to have a good, spiritual season this year. They may not win 5 games, but they'll win 4. How about that? They'll win 4. That's how I'm feeling. So I'm going to take them with the over 3. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. Virginia Tech is absolutely putrid. I haven't seen a UV Tech team this bad ever, really. I'm almost 40, but, all these years I've been watching Virginia Tech, they've always consistently been a team that's 7-5 or better. or 8-4 or better, 9-3 or better. But these last few years, they've been kind of a shell of themselves. They haven't really been the same since Frank Beamer was there. So I feel like this year will probably be a bottom out year for Virginia Tech, where they're going to have to, where the writing's going to hit the wall on how they're going to recruit moving forward. But I think the under 5.5 is a good play here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. Now, who do I pick as the champion of this conference? And I already told on myself, but it is going to be Florida State. And Florida State comes in here rocking a plus 170. So it's not that big of a number because you look at Clemson's number, the Clemson is plus 150. So, it's kind of like either or. And that's how it's looking to me. And they play in the same division. So when they line it up this year, most likely it's going to be the ACC title game before you play the actual ACC title game. So that's going to be a great one. I look forward to it. Florida State is my champion of the ACC this year, and I can see Florida being in the Final Four this year as well too for college football. Because if they do win the conference and they win it in defining fashion, there's no way they're holding out Florida State from the top four. Because Florida State is a traditional team over the last 40 years of college football. Even though they've had some real lean years the last 5 or so, everybody knows that Florida State is a household name. And everybody knows that they were the face of the ACC for a very long time when it came to football. So, yeah, I just feel like this team is returning back to the top, and that's why I'm picking them to win the ACC. Now, let's move forward and talk about the Big 12, the Big 12 preview. And you guys know the Big 12 has 4 brand new teams in the Big 12 with BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. So those teams have joined to make the conference now a 14-team conference. So let's go ahead and look at how I